Good afternoon, everybody. Happy lunch hour. All right. Uh, Trying to figure some of this stuff out, but is it actually the long game that Democrats are playing to destroy conservatism in the United States? We talk about the illegal immigration left and right and them trying to bring in more Democrat voters and everything, right? Okay, that's common conversation. But what if it's a little deeper than that? What if the plan is a little more devious? And that's kind of what I've been digging into a little bit. Now there was a article that came out this morning on Fox. Okay, take it as you will. But it was entitled Illegal Immigration Could Have Major Impact on House Seats and the Electoral College, according to experts. All right. Now, y'all know how electoral votes are decided. Y'all know how congressional districts are decided. It's based on population, right? Okay. If you remember back in Trump's presidency, he was adamant about that when the 2020 census happened, that the only people counted in the census were U.S. citizens. The Democrats, of course, pitched a major fit over that. It eventually went up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, no, you have to count everybody that lives here. That's going to be a huge problem. Now, I want to kind of put this to you as to how the 2020 census changed electoral votes and changed representation in Congress. Okay. States gain or lose seats. After the 2020 census, Texas gained 2 electoral votes and 2 seats in the House. North Carolina, Oregon, Colorado, Montana, and Florida all gained 1 seat, right? And then California, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Illinois, New York, Michigan, and West Virginia all lost a seat. Now, if you look at the trend, it's not 100%, but what was the trend there? The blue states lost seats and lost electoral votes as the people left and moved to red states. Okay? Now, we'd hope that the people that left California or Michigan or Illinois or whatever that decided they wanted a better life in a conservative state were conservatives. Yeah, that ain't going to be 100% true. Okay? You look at states that picked up seats, okay, or lost seats. It's going to be some red, some blue. Okay. But you had a lot of liberals that left their blue states to go to red states. Let's use one example that's all over the news lately. Jeff Bezos has moved to Florida. Okay. I don't think anybody would say Jeff Bezos is a conservative. So that means right there that the state of Florida has picked up another liberal voter. Take it as you will. So now, how does this play out in the long haul? Remember, we don't have another census until 2030. So that gives them still 6 years to pad the numbers in places and count illegals. So I pose this. What if the plan for the Democrats is to make the blue states so repressively expensive to live in that the people leave and start blue? I mean, obviously, if they're blue states, there's more Democrats in them than there are conservatives. Okay. That the liberals start leaving and they turn the red states to purple. Okay? There's a lot of states. I mean, we go back to the last election, and again, I'm going to use the final official numbers, okay? Not take out 2,000 mules, take out all the other evidence that we have about the shenanigans that were played in 2020, okay? Arizona, Minnesota, Michigan, Georgia, all finished with very, 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 very tight margins. It doesn't take a whole lot of Californians or New Yorkers or Illinois residents to move into some of those states and turn the tide. Okay, we saw, again, official numbers, Arizona flip, whoever believes that. Okay, we saw Georgia flip, whoever believes that. Okay, however you want to go for it. But could that be the game plan? Let's make Nevada more blue, or all the Californians moving to Idaho. Let's make Idaho a blue state. Let's see if we can flip North Carolina. Okay, some of these that are borderline. Now, if you get all those people moving there, the other answer is, well, gee, New York or California or Chicago or Illinois, okay, for all intents and purposes, Illinois is dictated by whatever the people in Chicago say. Well, they're going to lose population, so they'd lose EVs, electoral votes. They'd lose representation. Until you get to the point of we're counting illegals, okay? And this is where you could say, is Greg Abbott actually helping the Democrats? I'm not accusing, I'm just saying, is this how we're being played? We're busing illegals to New York, to Chicago, to Colorado, to California, to Massachusetts in droves, right? So we're replacing all those Democrat swayed voters in these states, so they still have the same amount of electoral votes. They still have the same amount of congressional representation. But the illegals can't vote, at least in federal elections, yet. But those states still get the same votes. So those states will inevitably stay solid blue. But now the red states, the ones that are not dominant red, okay, but the ones that are leaning red, okay, not overly worried about Tennessee. Tennessee's pretty strong red across the border, or across the board, unless you got, Memphis, that area is blue. It's our only Democrat congressman with the idiot Steve Cohen. But the rest of the state is solid red. But those ones that maybe aren't so solid, now if you start moving some Democrats in there, you can turn them purple. You can put them in play. But you're not taking states like New York or California or Colorado or Massachusetts or Illinois out of the Democrat column. You think about it, is the more congressional representation they have, that's where the power is held. Okay, as much as everybody wants to think of, the president is the ultimate power, not really. Okay, Congress, House of Representatives, still decides how the budgets work. They hold the purse strings. Okay, Congress still writes the laws that the president inevitably has to sign. He's the ultimate authority to agree or disagree. Okay, because we're never going to get to those super majorities under the way it's set up now. So an executive order, great, it lasts 4 years top, well, 8 years tops, I guess, if somebody got reelected. But then, every president on day one goes, okay, all the executive orders from my predecessor from the other party are no longer part of the national narrative. Until we don't ever have to worry about there being a two-party system anymore. Until they've enticed everybody, fixed everything, to slowly make everything blue. And then when they turn, I don't know, a Louisiana, a North Carolina blue, there is no coming back. You look a little in depth at this illegal immigration crap and go, why does the left want illegals in all the time? And I've said basically because of the Social Security scam. Okay, that's certainly part of it. They want that extra revenue to kick the can down the road a little bit longer. But don't be surprised for 1 second if the reason the left wants to do this is because they don't care if they turn Illinois or New York or California or Massachusetts or Michigan or Minnesota into a complete welfare state. Chase out all the taxpayers. We'll leave all the welfare recipients in those states. We promise them everything anyway. We never deliver on it. So who cares? Like LBJ said, I'll have them voting that way for 100 years. They'll still do it as long as they get their hands out. Because the problem with democracy is once people figure out that they don't have to work, they'll just go along with anything. As long as they keep getting that free lunch, they'll vote for whoever gives them that free lunch, no matter how bad their life gets. Because like every other creature on the face of the earth, people are lazy. They'll take the shortest distance between 2 points. If I have to go from here to here to get $1,000, and the government will give it to me and it's a straight line, but if I have to work for it and it's like this, I'll take the straight line. And that's human nature. And that's the problem. The work ethic in this country is screwed, and the Democrats are completely playing into it. More freeloaders means more votes for them. And if they can manage to distribute the voters to where they want them, we're all screwed. Pinball out.